Good morning. I try to do like Tracy, good morning, but it's not enough. Okay. Thank you. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'm so glad you decided to choose our capital to host your annual Congress. And I really hope you are enjoying the time here. I want to thank you, and particularly Tracy and Karine and all the staff of the organization thank you for the wonderful convivial time of yesterday evening in this Villa Miani. You know, it's a very nice place and very nice evening. And to congratulate with her for the perfect organization, and not so easy to do here. As you know, this city is charming, but very complex. Organization is never easy. It takes an effort. So thank you again, Tracy and Karine, and the other member of staff. Thank you so much. So I think that I have 20 minutes, and Tracy said before, I try to respect the time, despite I'm Italian, sorry, yeah? But I try to do it. I want to show you three things in 20 minutes. First of all, I would like to show you the situation of the audience in Italy. It's not a very good situation after the Ottobrata Romana. It's very nice. Also, you remember this moment in Rome, it's very beautiful, but out of here, probably. Secondly, I will show you the market and what is happening with revenues, circulation, and advertising in our market. And finally, I spend a few words on the context and on our proposal for change. Unfortunately, there are not many Italian publishers here, but we try to do something in the same. So, first of all, newspaper. We can all see the number of readers is declining. No? The issue is it's evident. This trend follows, unfortunately, and particularly the age distribution, with young people reading less. Unfortunately, I'd say. Today, newspapers are the reading choice for more or less one-third of the population, 31.4%. It's not a bad number, but only 20 years ago, 50% of population read newspaper. And in 2014, the readers were more or less 20 million of people. This is only for newspaper. And the next one is weekly magazine. You can see that in the weekly segment, the degree is more pronounced. There is a strong difference on the effect of these degrees. In Italy, women's magazines are stable. It is very interesting to note this, while information and quality magazines are quickly losing readers. In January, in 2014, we have more or less 18 million, and now we are around 14. So this is a big problem for this specific segment of periodic. Now, we have monthly magazines. It's the one showing the sharpest decrease. In fact, in 2014, the readers were 70 million, and now we are more or less 30 million. Only 23.4% of adult population read. One of the reasons is that the need for quick information, and after we know why, makes the reader opt for different platforms. And we, in Italy, are just over on press now together. We have to see the others, monthly contents, then decide to get oriented to in-depth analysis and specialization. This reduces the number of readers. Now, let me tell you, I think this is very expressive, this, about our target of readers. First of all, gender. Well, you can see men mostly read newspaper, women mostly read weekly magazine, and both men and women read monthly magazine, the opposite of the first and the second, newspaper and weekly. It's very interesting. And what about the age? This is our problem. I think that is the problem of all the other countries, but in Italy in particular. Young people, until 34 years, read much less. And this is, for us, a big problem, and it's something what we have to do to effort to change this. Some interesting items is more than 60% of our readers have a high school diploma or degree, the end of the histogram. So this is very important because that means that it's an educated target of readers, and this is relevant for advertising. Now, I'm arrived to speak about advertising in two ways. First, our readers are people with a high spending capacity. This is important. Secondly, the high quality of readers also mean there is a strong link between the reader and this newspaper. I think that's very important to stress this concept, because the link between the reader and newspaper is our richest now. And sometimes it's something important. You don't have time the same with TV or audio, other video, or other social or other system. No? The link between our brand, our people is very, very interesting and very deep. Now, let me show you the numbers of the revenues from advertising and the media mix allocation in Italy. It's just a very particular situation of our country. So, as you can see from the purple line, in the last 10 years, from 2007 to 2017, advertising decreased by almost 60%. This is number sent for 2007, and the number in index number, and now the last year. Sales also decreased 40%, less in the same years, 10 years. In absolute values, we lost, and on the left, 3.7 billion euros. It's a dramatic crisis, and as you know, I imagine. Now, circulation. Unfortunately, this crisis got worse in the last 2 years. It's a never-ending story, despite many investment and action taken by publishers. The last news do not seem to improve this picture. Circulation and distribution have lost 12% in the last 2 years in Italy, and the trend looks similarly in mass war country, and you probably know that better than me. Unfortunately, the general trend is negative for all segments, even if the general weekly magazines are suffering the most, and the less affected segments are related to cooking, puzzles, crosswords, and collector cars and kids. Generally speaking, also, a segment related to entertainment and lifestyle might continue to perform well in the future, we hope. Products targeting young kids will always be successful, since parents need to entertain them, not with the social, and want to keep them away from electronic goods. But now I think this is also something that it will be changed. Kids are also attracted by the sensory experience of printed production. The sensory experience of printed products is, I think, is very important also to stress this. I think that now it's a particular situation of Italian market is the media mix allocation of the advertising. because advertising on TV continues to be higher in Italy than in other countries. This is especially, there are many reasons, government and other attitude of Italian from TV. However, and now this is very important, the last number, as we estimated that the over-the-top already collected more than 30% of total advertising in 2007. This means that the role of press in Italy, of freedom press in Italy, is especially at risk if it don't do nothing. Sorry, check the time. Circulation by type of retail. So this is something, other numbers. Let me show. Beside the 40% of reduction in sales in the last 10 years that I already mentioned, our market doesn't really have subscription. This is another particularity of our market. This absence of subscription makes the market even more frail and uncertain, and it's a problem for investment, so decided to end many other aspects of the activity of our company. The crisis hit all the sector, including the end-to-end supply chain. In this slide, you see how both the number of newsstand and distribution companies has decreased, the last two numbers. To this, you should add for two small survived. Revenues have significantly been reduced. So this is a big problem for us. And so there are our colleagues that changed the effort in SODIP, and I also say that they know very well what's the problem now for us. Also, the progressive reduction of local distributors has increased situation where a single distributor operates exclusivity on territorially large areas. The concentration of local distributors, though justified by the need to achieve efficiency, has however increased the dominant position of distributors and the dispute, unfortunately, between distributors and retailers. We have to change of this. Now, until now, I gave you a picture of the actual situation, but how to read it now? And this is I try to do. And where will it bring us? A new word. Over the past 10 years, the world has changed. Needs are very different today, and people, especially young people, think in a different way. And it is in this new world that our sector and our work need to be reorganized, repensed. It's very interesting, this. Because if the different needs change the world, we have to change our activity, our business, our investment, and our oriented market. It's the new role of the individual. Until yesterday, we were providing news to individuals. Today, this is not the way it works anymore. Individuals have power, want power. They rely on social networks more and more, and they are news makers themselves. In the news in particular, the individual is no longer just a receiver, but becomes a newsmaker. So our public needs today a more involving and interactive information, and we need to find new tools for this. I'm thinking, for instance, of introducing video contents in digital edition with subject varying according to the time of day, or of creating communities of fans to strengthen the interactive relationship between readers and magazine. I think this is very, very, very important for us. But not only opportunity for the technology, not only crisis, not only opportunity. So it's the new world, technology is an opportunity, but it can also be bad for us for the reason you read in the slides. In particular, the pervasiveness of the OTT, not enough revenues from editorial content spread online, and you know the recent vote in Strasbourg about directive, about the right neighbor, diritto connesso, and that means that OTT have to pay for use our contents. And this is very interesting because there is no transparency in advertising, just and the second for this. Why it's very important to have transparency with advertising? Because the most important point to guarantee transparency is to have the same rule for all the actors of this company. Today, for example, OTT still do not comply with the same rules on advertising. We need a level playing field, also on tax ground. And remember, OTT do not even pay publishing rights for the contents they use. In 2017, should have been the year of the first white paper on the transparency of communication on digital investment, an effort on digital communication that we do with other company, other association, and it's very an effort of digital communication that face many unsolved issues. The name of the association are ASSOCOM, FGP, FEDOWeb, FIEG, Netcom, Unicom, and UCOT. They work together in a successful and cooperative way. The result is a publication, an effort of agreement, an answer to the widespread demand for clarity, certainty, and trust for online advertising. This group of 8 associations representing advertisers, creative and media agencies, sales houses, publishers, AD tech companies, and merchants generated a useful handbook, a solid guide, a map of general rules for the whole market that will be constantly updated to keep up with the evolution of the market and technology. The white paper mainly deals with measurement of the advertising, a topic that has become fundamental for a medium that offers a number of indicators which is incomparable with offline media. The white paper especially focused on ad verification, viability, ad fraud, brand safety, the foundation for KPIs, attribution models, and cross-device measurement. The white paper highlights rules as third-party certified measurement tools, standard reports to ease the comprehension of campaigns data, the acknowledgement of technical limitation of viewability measurement, first battle against fraud and illegal website funding through advertising. It also remains the importance of context in advertising, reaching people without adequate security of business practice leads to a preventable backfire. It reminds the importance of context for society too, fights for civilization and democracy, like the current one on fake news that you know very well, can be supported with careful advertising planning. It's also focused on another keyword, maybe the most important of all, transparency, and I stress the word. Transparency on the role of an industry involving media knowledge, technology and data management skills, transparency of the financials flow of programmatic buying, transparency on investment data, transparency to equalize digital and traditional media, and focus on value creation for brands and branding goals. Only at the end of this moment, one important clarification. The white paper is an authoritative opinion. Facts become rules when purpose and principle are shared. This book contains the guidelines that should be observed to achieve a healthy competition and to define the social responsibility of the market participants. With this book, we think we highlighted a direction to follow in order to improve the ability to face the digital communication. And I think that the publisher and the others company are very interesting about the effort of this. New opportunity for increasing circulation. In this context, the fundamental necessity is to safeguard the existing network of newspaper kiosks by number and coverage, modernizing and strengthening it to bring together supply and demand and to multiply the opportunity for meetings between newspapers and players. For example, FIEG has entered into a protocol with ANCI, the second one, Association of Italy Town Council, in order to expand the categories of goods and services offered to the public and the value-added service for local governments. This is a very interesting protocol that we just signed. In fact, in Italy, retail will continue to be the main sales channel for press products. The percentage of copies sold by newsstands remains substantially stable despite the introduction of digital copies, which did not exist in 2007. In 2007, sale of newspaper and magazine made via newsstands constituted 80% of the total, and today represent 79% of the total. For this reason, it's important to ensure protection and enhancement of the publishing product, the liberalization of distribution, and the modernization of newsstands for the sale of newspaper, and the provision of other services to the citizen, the rebalancing of the advertising market. Mix-Match I'm just finished. New ways of liberalizing circulation. Lately, the Italian government, the previous one, introduced rules aimed at liberalization of the market. These new rules are not yet in force, but we try to effort for this. According to the new rules, it will be possible to sell press also in shops relating to the same product sector. In Italy, it's not permitted now. For example, we'll be able to buy gardening magazine in a garden shop. And this is very strong to have a different relation with our lectors. We think this is an important opening to the market, bringing newspaper closer to people. And this is why we propose to the Italian government to go further in the process of liberalization. The future started yesterday. Sorry, it's very simple. So, 3 keys to conclude, I think in 20 minutes exactly. The future is already started. In a time of fake news, the first one is very important. We need reliable news and brand to build trust. Trust is another keyword, very important, I think, for us. Publishers are today the only actors complying with several rules on news production. No other company has the same rule that we have. Also, journalists, company. So this is very important to stress. We are a guarantee for our lectors. Paper, and online distribution should go together, depending on the product and the target. We hope that you are able to do it. Thank you very much.